Hello, my friend. Welcome to the weekly live chat. Just a heads up, my next video that goes live, I do say hello, my friends. It was incidental. Didn't mean it. I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments about that. But anyway, thank you so much for coming to live chat. We have a lot to talk about today. And the majority of what we're going to be talking about today is regarding this eyeshadow palette mostly, and just in general about subscription boxes and the new trend that seems to be happening of different products possibly going into boxes that are different than what was sold before they were going into boxes. And this was all brought up by a channel called TheNotSoEvilStepmother, and I do have her video linked down below for you, so you can check out the full video. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reacting to her video. I have never done a react video live before. I have watched her video and I have snipped out some parts that I want to comment on. She's got some things right, and then she's got some things that are really, really wrong in the video, and she makes a lot of she says allegedly, but the way that it's said, it really comes off as things are fact when there's a good chance that they're not fact. And we're going to talk about it. So the one major thing I want to talk about is that I am not going after a smaller YouTuber with this. This is not about her. This is not about going after her. This is not about, doing anything to her. This is about trying to make sure that the general public has the correct information, at least from what I know to be the correct information. I'm going to tell you if I don't know something, but if I know something, I'm going to tell you what I know, and we're going to kind of pick apart the things that that she was told and all of that, because I don't know how many people have contacted me saying, hey, can you look at this? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. And what's most important to me in the end, 100%, is that customers are taken care of, that you are getting what you pay for, that you are getting what you think you're getting, and there's some weird stuff happening, and I think we need to talk about it so that you know when you go in to buy a subscription box like BoxyCharm, Ipsy, I don't know, what are the other ones, CauseBox, FabFitFun, whatever all the other ones are, those subscription boxes, that you are getting what you think you're getting, what you're paying for. So we're going to go into that. But I want to make sure you know this is not about her and me saying negative about her. It's just about me trying to get the truth out there for consumers so that there's no confusion. So that's going to be one thing. The other thing is I wanted to talk about the ABH collaboration. Well, I don't know if they consider it a collaboration with Rodan and Fields, which is a multi-level marketing company, and all the things that happen with that. That's probably going to be like the last 20 minutes or so. I usually put timestamps pretty quickly in the video description down below. So without any more gabbing, because we're going to run out of time if I keep talking, I'm going to go ahead and say hello to the people that are here live in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, also known as people that are here in live chat. And I like to, when I invite people into my house, I like to say good morning. So good morning to Lisa and Megan and my girl Liz. Saucer Jess is here with her purple heart. She says, don't forget to like the video. Thank you so much, Jess. I'm sure Debbie will be back saying the same thing too. So thank you very much. If you like the video, please like it so that it shares with other people. Ginger, good morning to you. Hello. Jennifer, good morning. Teresa M.O., good morning to you. She's got her coffee ready. Denise is here. Alicia is here. Good morning to you. Angel, hey, oh, it skipped down, so I guess I'm done saying hello because it skipped all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in clips of the Not So Evil Stepmother's video. I've been informed that her name is Alex. So let's go ahead. And the first thing that she says in the video, I believe to be not true. So let me go ahead and pop her in here. Oops, hold on a minute. Wrong button.
Now, if you're already subscribed, double check and make sure you are still subscribed. If the little button is red, you are not subscribed. Now, YouTube does this about 2 to 3 times a year. They will delete your subscription channels. Any channels that you are not actively on, they will delete from your subscription. So not just with my channel, but any of your favorites, definitely just double check and make sure that you are still subscribed, and that little button still says subscribed and your notification bell is set to notify all videos. Now, if you're already subscribed...
Hold on. Okay, that's not true. It's not real. YouTube does, for whatever reason, unsubscribe people from channels occasionally. I know this is kind of off topic, but she's starting off with something that there's no evidence to support, which is not a good way to start a video where you're going to be presenting evidence for things. If you go into your own subscriptions, you can look and see all the people you're subscribed to, and you'll see a ton of channels, if you're subscribed to a lot of channels and you haven't cleared it out in a while, that channels that haven't posted in a long time, channels that are ones you haven't watched in a really long time. If I go into my subscriptions, I'm subscribed to like 200 some people. There are a ton of people that I'm subscribed to that I haven't watched in a really long time. So that is false. That's not true. I have had people tell me in the past that they have been unsubscribed to my channel. At this point, all we know is it's kind of random. We don't know why it happens, but it's not something that YouTube goes in and does and just deletes all of your subscriptions of channels that you're not actively watching. That is false. I can tell you that that's false because I can look at my own subscriptions and see that that's false. So let's go ahead and move on. So the next thing she's talking about is the Ciate product that people were talking about. The Ciate product came out, I believe, was it December's box maybe? And what happened was that the Ciate, it was like a blush, I think, and the ingredients that were on the packaging didn't match the website. When Ciate was notified that the ingredients on the BoxyCharm box didn't match what was on the website, Ciate changed the ingredients on their website to match what was in BoxyCharm's box. So let's go ahead and hear what Alex has to say about it.
Probably the last 6 or 7 months, myself and quite a few other YouTubers have been calling them out for some of those products because the products that they put in the box, the ingredients listed on the product itself is not matching the ingredient listed on the product or brand's website and or the products that are in the store. Also, the products that are in the little containers, like for instance, the Ciate London. And a lot of people were saying that this product didn't match the Ciate London blushes that they actually owned. It just didn't perform the same. Why are the ingredients not matching up? And then why are the products not applying the same? Probably the last 6 or 7.
I keep doing that. Hold on. Okay, so this is a question I have too. I'm wondering that too. But the way that it's almost implied is that BoxyCharm is sneaking these fake products into the box. And this is something that Alex has very, very wrong. That spreads rumors, it spreads misinformation. If BoxyCharm was doing this on their own accord, they were doing this by themselves, Ciate wouldn't go into their website and then change the ingredients to match the BoxyCharm box. They're obviously in on it. Okay, if there's something going on with the changing of ingredients, Ciate knows about it because they went in and changed it on their website. You know what I'm saying? That's the big flaw in a lot of what Alex is saying, is she's making it sound like a lot of times that BoxyCharm is doing this without the knowledge of the brands. But over and over again, I'm going to show you that the brands do know if there is a change. Now, formulas change all the time. Formulas change. I'm not going to say all the time, but brands do change their formulas occasionally. Then they need to update their website. So it's possible that Ciate changed their formula, put the new formula in the BoxyCharm, and just didn't update the website. It doesn't necessarily mean something nefarious is going on. It could be just them changing their ingredients. That's a possibility. As we dig deeper, that's questionable. But we'll see. Okay, so the next one, actually, let me go to the chat and make sure we're good. Katie says, yes, Ciate. Oh, Katie Marie's here. Check out her YouTube channel. Ciate has to be either in cahoots or they're changing their own formula brand products without letting customers know. Right. And legally, Katie and everybody else, they do not need to inform customers that the ingredients have changed. Sometimes on boxes, you'll see on product boxes, sometimes on websites, you'll see a notice that says ingredients may change. Check your product box for the current ingredient list. You'll see that on lots of websites. That's normal. Okay. Okay, here we go. So Lauren says, hey, Jen, I've purchased several Ciate products and they were made in Italy and talc-free. The one in BoxyCharm was made in PRC and has talc. Definite possibility. See, I think that I have that one somewhere, but I don't know. Okay, so let's say what Lauren is saying is 100% true. That is a choice of Ciate, not of BoxyCharm, right? Because Ciate updated their website, okay? If they are going to, okay, another thing we're going to get into is just because it's made in the PRC and because it has talc does not mean it's a lower quality product. It could mean that. Oh, it could mean that. but it doesn't necessarily mean that. And when we assume that just because something is made in China that it is a low quality product, we are overgeneralizing. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a little while. But excellent point. You guys are so great. Okay, let's go ahead and go back over and let's see her next point. So this one is about Farsali.
And then on top of all of that, when people were trying to resell some of the items out of their BoxyCharm boxes on sites like eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark, those companies were coming after them claiming that those products were counterfeit. One of the most recent ones being the Farsali liquid glass skin serum. Anybody that received this in their BoxyCharm box in January that tried to resell it on sites like Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay either got red flagged or dinged for trying to sell a counterfeit product. Now, if Farsali really put this in BoxyCharm's box, why are they now claiming that it's counterfeit? Makes no sense. And then on top of...
I keep doing that. I keep trying to stop it and pause it, but then it starts replaying it. Okay, so this is the problem with this one. This one is outright false. This is outright 100% fake. This is not real, and it makes me mad. And again, I'm not attacking her, but it makes me mad when information like this gets out there and it's not real. You can go to Mercari's website right now, and I'm so mad. I forgot to take it off my other computer. I did have a screenshot of it, and I'll figure out a way to get that screenshot available to you on my Twitter or something. But if you go to Mercari's website right now, you can search for Farsali's, whatever it was, the glass skin, whatever it was, on Mercari, and you will find, and you type in BoxyCharm, and you will find a ton of them that are sold from BoxyCharm. Mercari is not flagging all of these. That is not true. It's just straight up not true. You can go to eBay, you can find them. You can go to Poshmark, you can find them. To say that every single one is being marked as counterfeit is outright false. It is not true. This person that she showed the screenshot of apparently was flagged. That doesn't necessarily mean that everybody was flagged. This person was flagged. So what that person needs to do is they need to go to Mercari and be like, hey, dude, it's real. It's real. Another way we know that this is not true, it just gets me heated. I'm sorry. I'm not mad at her. It's not her. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. And I found a little more heated than, well, I am a little, I don't know if I'm, anyway. Take a breath, Jen. Take a breath. Okay. Another way that we know that this isn't true is, okay, let's say I'm Jen Loves Reviews Cosmetics, and I want to put, let's say I'm Jen Loves Reviews Cosmetics, and I'm making eyeshadow, okay? And I see that BoxyCharm has one of my eyeshadow palettes. I'm a multi-million-dollar company, and I see BoxyCharm has one of my products in their box, and I never gave them permission for that. They're selling a fake product of mine in their box, and I didn't approve that. You think I'm going to keep my mouth shut? You think I'm going to sit here after people are telling me that this company is selling fake products that are... Am I going to keep... No, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to not only make it super public that those are not my products in BoxyCharm, but I'm probably going to sue them. Right? It makes absolutely no sense that Farsali would let BoxyCharm get away with selling a fake product in their box. It makes no sense. And you can look on Mercari and see that tons of Farsali products are being resold there from BoxyCharm and not getting flagged as counterfeit. So that's okay. Sorry, I got a little too much there for a second. It makes no sense. Okay, we're going to get into Storybook Cosmetics as she gets into it, First Lady Green. We're getting there. Okay. All right, let's go back. We're getting there. Oh, it's here. I've got plenty of clips. We're just going in the order she went in. All right, now let's talk about Kypris, okay? We've got Joe from BoxyCharm talking that she put in her video, and then we get into Storybook, okay? All right, Kypris.
Kypris claimed that it was brought to their attention and corrected that the ingredients list on their website and what was sold in their spas were different than the ones listed on the back of the BoxyCharm boxes, and therefore they corrected it. So they made their website list, ingredient list, match now what was put in the BoxyCharm boxes. And I kind of thought that was a little odd because I'm like, you've been selling this in spas and salons and on your websites for years now, and the ingredients have always been listed the same, and now you just put your product in BoxyCharm's box and now there's all of a sudden a typo and you have to change things.
All right, same thing that happened with Ciate. See, this is when we start getting a pattern of things then we got to raise an eyebrow a little bit. And this is the same thing that seemed to happen with Ciate, in that they saw that people were upset that the ingredients on the Kypris product were different from the BoxyCharm than they were on the website. So Kypris went in and changed it. Kypris is aware. They know these things. They are aware. They are if they are doing it just for BoxyCharm, they are aware of it. This is not BoxyCharm doing things on their own. This is Kypris' part of it, if this is what's happening. Okay? All right, let's go to see what Joe had said. This is the CEO of BoxyCharm. And this, I believe, is an Instagram story. And this is Alex's clip, so it'll show a couple of little lie things or things. That's what Alex put in. That's not what I put in. I just want to make sure I say that. I didn't put that in there. That's what put there. But let's talk about what Joe had to say about it.
One thing we don't do, we don't change the quality of the product. We don't change the formula of the product. Okay, what can we do? In some cases, we might change the packaging. And in the last 6 years, after having hundreds or maybe thousands of different SKUs, I can say that I can count on one hand how many times we have asked the brand to change the packaging, which I got no problem with. As long as the formula is there, I can afford placing their product. Sometimes it's because the cost of goods is too high with the current packaging that the brand have, but many times it's delivery date, the component might be too slow to be manufactured and we need that in a particular month, so it's easier and faster to deliver the product in a different component. But that's pretty much the only time we would change something. Other than that, it is the same exact item that you'll see in department store on our end. Many times there are those questions of, but is it really possible? Is it possible that there's another version that goes into a subscription box that's cheaper? Bullshit. Never ever. The whole purpose of what we did with BoxyCharm when we started was to allow getting the full experience out of a product, making sure that the product is gonna be tried and you get to decide if you like the product or not.
Okay, so all right. This is the thing. From what I understand, the way that it works, and Alex will explain this later, is that BoxyCharm gets a sample of products from all these different brands, and they're for consideration. BoxyCharm tries them, decides whether they're going in the box or not, and they go in they say, okay, you know, how much they can work out, haggle out the price, figure out what the price is, and if the price is in the range, then they go into the box. Joe says that it's the same ingredients in the BoxyCharm boxes as are being sold in department stores. I don't think Joe can guarantee that. Unless he is double checking and making sure the ingredients all match, which we've seen in 2 instances so far in Alex's video that they didn't match. He can't guarantee that unless he is double checking that, and it does not seem like BoxyCharm is double checking to make sure the brands aren't putting a different version in BoxyCharm. All they do is they get the product and they're like, oh, it's pretty good. Okay, let's work out the price. You send it to me. All of that. I don't think he can guarantee that it's the same unless he is double checking behind the scenes. And at least with 2 products out of the thousands of products that they've had in BoxyCharm over the years. I mean, they've been around for 6 years. At least 2 products. We'll talk about more. We'll talk about another one that's more recent that came out in this month's box after we talk about Alex. I don't think he can guarantee that. That's my opinion. And I think that they need to make sure that they are guaranteeing that. All right, let's go back to Alex. So this is where she talks about how BoxyCharm works. I don't know if we need to do this clip. Yeah, I think we're going to leave this one because I pretty much said it, and Alex and I agree about how BoxyCharm works, and I basically just said it to you, so I'm going to skip that clip. You can go watch her whole video down below. I linked it down below. So this is where she starts talking about Storybook Cosmetics and this palette right here.
But if you give BoxyCharm a quote, and apparently that's what Storybook did, they gave BoxyCharm a quote and it was too high. So at that point, if it's too much and BoxyCharm doesn't want to pay it, then BoxyCharm returned and said, okay, here's the counter offer. Instead of us paying for your product and the packaging, we'll just pay for your packaging and we will make your products in our lab in China. That's right. BoxyCharm has a lab in China where they are making some of these products.
That is a huge accusation. That's a huge accusation. Okay. And we're going to show, okay, keep in mind, Alex never shows receipts for this. She never shows a receipt for that. Okay. We'll show all of Alex's receipts. She has a few, and I will make sure I show you all of them for context. BoxyCharm is a huge operation. I can't imagine them also running an entire lab halfway across the world with employees and formulas and all that. Like, that just makes no sense to me that they are able to not only have BoxyCharm, this huge operation with 1 million customers or whatever, and also be able to run an entire Chinese lab. Like, maybe they know a Chinese lab. I don't know. I believe this to be absolutely false. I think this makes absolutely no sense. And we're going to see in one of Alex's receipts later why I think this is absolutely 100% false. I believe this palette was made in the PRC. It was made in China, absolutely. But it makes no sense that they shipped an empty palette to BoxyCharm and then BoxyCharm shipped the palette to that makes no sense. If you know anything about cosmetic manufacturing, why wouldn't they just send it to China themselves? Why do they have to send it to BoxyCharm who then sends it to China? That makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. And if this was an American-made palette and they shipped the American-made empty palette where normally it's made in America, and this palette is made in America, and we give this palette to BoxyCharm, and then they put it in PRC. Why does it say made in the PRC on the back? If this was intended to be an American-made product, it wouldn't say made in PRC on the back. This was intended to be made in China from the get-go, from the jump. Storybook Cosmetics made, I believe, 3 palettes like this specifically for BoxyCharm. And if you go over to their Instagram, you will see their post that these are specifically made for BoxyCharm. From what I understand, prior to this, all of their products were made in the United States. This product was made in China. That was a Storybook Cosmetics decision. We know that because it is printed on the packaging that Storybook Cosmetics created. That was not a BoxyCharm choice. That was a Storybook Cosmetics choice. Let's go ahead and keep going. So, what did I do? Let me make sure I got the right one. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and flip back over.
Storybook makes the deal with BoxyCharm, and apparently they also made money on the deal. So apparently they overcharged BoxyCharm for their packaging. So they actually charged them more than what it actually costs to make the packaging. Okay. And then they shipped the packaging to BoxyCharm's plant in China. BoxyCharm then made the products inside this palette right here. This is not, now here's the thing, Storybook Cosmetics is supposedly American-made products. These products, according to Storybook Cosmetics, is not American-made. They are Chinese dupes, okay? They're Chinese palettes.
Okay. They're not Chinese dupes. They're not Chinese dupes. They're not Chinese dupes. Okay. ABH. Talk about Anastasia Beverly Hills for a second. Not about the Rodan and Fields thing. Let's talk about that for a second. Have you noticed that the Norvina palettes that they came out with, that whole Norvina line, is all made in China? Would you call the Norvina line Chinese dupes of ABH shadows? No, you wouldn't. Just like you would not call this Chinese dupes of Storybook Cosmetics products. This is a Storybook Cosmetic product. What I believe is that Storybook Cosmetics could not make American-made shadows at the cost that BoxyCharm needed in order to put them in these million sub boxes. So they made special products for BoxyCharm that were made in the PRC in order to cut costs so they could afford BoxyCharm to be in there to get their products out there. But this is a Storybook Cosmetics product. It is not a Chinese dupe. Stop. Okay, sorry. Okay, wait. Joe Mon says Joe admitted this. Admitted what? Joe didn't admit And he admitted, Joe said, okay, let's make sure we get this, because Joe said that sometimes they change the packaging because maybe the packaging is too expensive for what they need for BoxyCharm. Maybe the packaging is going to be slow to manufacture and they need it by a certain date. But he's saying that the ingredients are the same as what he said. Let's make sure we're good. Okay. Yes. Okay. Beauty Addict Mom says, maybe I didn't hear him correctly, but didn't the BoxyCharm guy say that he can work with brands on their packaging? So maybe BoxyCharm made the packaging and it's the opposite of what Alex is saying. We have absolutely no evidence of that. Okay. And there's actually evidence of the opposite in another receipt that Alex has. So let's keep going with Alex. Okay.
Storybook was supposed to send out the products.
Oh.
They never did.
Okay. Hold on. We're missing a bit of information. So one part that I cut out of the video for time is that Alex got all of her information from a competing subscription box. All of the receipts, all of Alex's information are from a BoxyCharm competitor. Doesn't that seem a little fishy to you, maybe, that this is the only source of information is a BoxyCharm competitor? Wouldn't it be in their best interest to try to bring BoxyCharm down a peg and get Alex to make this video so that BoxyCharm looks bad? And maybe spread this misinformation? You know, I'm all for the little guy, the big guy, whoever. I'm all for whoever's telling the truth. And I am not for people deceiving people. It seems like this subscription box was mad at Storybook Cosmetics for a part that I cut out. You can watch the whole thing on Alex's channel, of course, like I said. Storybook was supposed to have a palette in this other subscription box. They reneged on their deal. It went south. So this other subscription box is mad at Storybook. So they blow their spot up. Might as well blow up BoxyCharm's spot while we're at it and bring them down a peg because it's going to be good for this other brand. That's what I'm thinking. All seems a bit convenient that this is all coming from a competing subscription box. Anyway, let's go back to Alex.
Then January rolls around. All right, so the subscription box has already paid the first half of the invoice to Storybook Cosmetics. All Storybook Cosmetics had to do was to ship out the products. Once they shipped it out and this box received tracking, then they pay the other half of the invoice. That's the way it normally works. But they never shipped out the products.
So again, this other subscription box is mad at Storybook. All right, let's see Alex again. Okay, so this is, this is the evidence that Storybook Cosmetics are the ones that made them in China.
Okay, well, just let them know that we had a shipping issue with weather or something. People always think Nebraska is snowy, and then maybe we can work something out at a later date for a longer turnaround time. And this box is like, no, like this is not going to work out. Well, then the Storybook kind of just like ghosts her. See right here. So she says, you know what? I'm just going to refund you. I just saw your message about my fake phone, and I honestly have been busting my beep to do a huge favor. I'm not a wholesale shipping company. We have thousands of orders to pack up, and I'm sorry, but not only are we losing money big time, but I don't appreciate the attitude. You were getting US made cosmetics from a well-known brand for cheaper than BoxyCharm did for their Chinese palettes. So in other words, BoxyCharm palettes, these palettes were not US made.
Okay, we already know they're not US made because it said made in China on the back. Hey, did you hear how BoxyCharm purchased the Chinese made palettes from Storybook? That's what that said. The Chinese made palettes were made by Storybook, not BoxyCharm. That was what that receipt said. You're paying less for your USA made palettes than BoxyCharm did for their Chinese palettes. These were made by Storybook Cosmetics, not BoxyCharm. Those are the receipts that she showed. Let me go over to the chat and just make sure I'm not missing anything. Meg says, Jen, are you looking at this objectively? Like the Ciate blush and the Kypris serum also in the box were suddenly made in the PRC and as well and didn't perform the same as regular one. Yes, we're going to get into that. Hold on a minute. We're not there yet. We're talking about one more thing. Okay, Kimberly says, let's not forget Alex wants to start her own subscription box. Now, I don't know that from my personal about Alex. Someone did mention that to me on Twitter, that Alex is trying to start her own subscription box, and that she was also removed from BoxyCharm PR. I was not able to find evidence of that. I did watch one of her other BoxyCharm unboxings, and I didn't watch any more after that. So we don't. She didn't say who the other brand was. Subbox Junkie. Alicia says, why is her video the only video on this? Because she's the one with the receipts from the angry subscription box. I think that's why. All right. Denise says the teacher knew was coming out hard from one teacher to another. I know. I just like, oh, okay. All right, let's go back. Okay. Because we're going to get to all of these. We're getting to it. Hold on a minute. All right. This is the last Storybook receipt.
I mean, I asked for this to work by January 2nd, in which I put a deposit down. You told me you're going behind your sister's back, etc., and not to post it or discuss what BoxyCharm did or how they do business, etc. I have been extremely patient with this, and you gave me a non-working number. That's totally okay with me. If you don't want to send them to me, my email is blank, blank, blank. I have seen the rest of the messages, and I'm not going to put it out there because again, I know Storybook probably had to sign its non-disclosure agreement. I also don't want to put this other box in any more hot water because it's not going to take much for people to obviously figure out who this subscription box is. But I can tell you that Storybook Cosmetics went into great detail about how this whole process worked with BoxyCharm. I mean, down to their Chinese lab's address and where they sent this packaging to have the products packaged and put in there, then shipped out in BoxyCharm boxes.
So you mean to tell me you care about Storybook's non-disclosure? You just blew all of that up. She doesn't care about Storybook's non-disclosure. She doesn't care about that. Okay, she never shows the receipts that show any of the proof that BoxyCharm, I'm not saying they don't exist, because maybe they do exist. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But she never shows the proof that BoxyCharm is the one that's doing any of this. She says that she has the address of the Chinese lab. This was made in China. There is an address of a Chinese lab where this was made. That is not scandalous, in my opinion. That's not scandalous. Okay, so that's the last Storybook receipt. Okay, and this is where she makes a really good point that goes back to what someone was saying a second ago.
So I feel like this is pretty big considering that how many other products besides Storybook and Ciate London are not the real deal and they're normal products. How many other products are made in the PRC? Because again, we all know Storybook cosmetic products are normally made in the USA and they're legit products.
Okay, so let's talk about Iconic London. The Iconic London's palettes came out, this subscription box, this one that's coming out now. I'm getting mine on Wednesday. Let's talk about, okay, these were sent to me. This picture was sent to me by Miss Heather's World on Twitter. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like. So there is the box, and then there's an ingredient list, okay? And it says on the bottom, made in PRC. She also sent me a screenshot of, oh man, did I forget to put that on here? I did. Darn. Okay. So I forgot to bring the picture on. Oh, it's killing me. It's on my other computer, else I get it real quick. Of the one that she had that she purchased from the Morphe website. Okay. If you go to, hold on. If you go to currently right now, to the Iconic London website, and you go to the Day to Slay eyeshadow palettes, the same thing. See, same thing. Day to Slay. Day to Slay. And you look at the ingredients. The ingredients here match exactly with the product that she purchased, that Heather purchased off of the Morphe website. Now, this has nothing to do with Morphe. Let's not bring Morphe into it. But this is a $65 eyeshadow palette. This ingredient list is not a $65 ingredient list. I can tell you that right now. Looking at these ingredients, this is a typical Chinese-made, low-cost formula. I've seen a million of them. Sometimes you can get really, really good products in China. I'm not saying that. I'm still sticking with that. but this is a low-cost product, okay? We've got things like mineral oil in there, where when you look at the ingredient list here, you'll see that there's beeswax, which is a more expensive ingredient to my knowledge. It's different. It's different. So this is my thinking. One more thing. Okay, I wanted to show you this. This was sent to me a while ago, and it got lost in my requests. The way that Twitter works is that you get people that you've talked to before go in one box, and people you've never talked to before go in another box. And this got lost in my never talked to before box. And I was searching for something else last night, and my spirit guides or whatever brought me this. And made sure that I got this, whatever you believe in, God or whatever, brought this because it's very relevant to the conversation. So this was sent to me in the end of December. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. This was found on Reddit, I believe, and she wanted to bring it to my attention. So it says, thank you for your email and interest in 111 Skin. The majority of our products are made in Bulgaria. However, due to capacity reasons for production, for the products being supplied to both Ipsy and FabFitFun, we moved production to our trusted Chinese manufacturer as the scale of our business continues to grow. We do frequently transition between different suppliers in Europe and Asia, depending on the capacity needs. However, all aspects of the production, including ingredients and formulation, when it goes on, it says that basically it's the exact same product, exact same ingredients, just made in a different factory, because they want to create more of them for these subscription boxes. So, my question is, how many brands, instead of what Alex is saying, which is that it's all BoxyCharm, and BoxyCharm is this nefarious, evil entity that is changing things and creating fake products and putting them in your box and lying to you and all of that, which I don't believe to be true. What I believe to be true, and this is just my belief by putting my pieces together, and that doesn't necessarily mean the pieces are being fit together correctly, but this is what I'm thinking, is that brands are not able to meet the costs of these subscription boxes. That the manufacturing in a place like Bulgaria or in Italy is more expensive, and they can't meet the cost without losing money for being in these subscription boxes. Because if you think about it, even if it's $1 per pallet, or $1 per product more, that's $1 million if you're filling 1 million orders. They can't afford it. So what they do is some of them may own their formula, some of them may not. If they own their formula, they take their formula to a cheaper lab, a less expensive lab, and have them mass produce. If they don't own their formula, which a lot of companies, the lab owns the formula, and you have to pay a fee in order to get your formula, and it's quite expensive. They get a product made that they believe is of similar quality. They might get a sample of it, and they try to make it be as close as possible to the more expensive formula, and then they fill those into the boxes. This is a stupid move. This is a stupid move by brands and by subscription boxes, and this is why. Because what Joe said in his car chat that he was doing, in his car chat that he was doing, is that the point of a subscription box is to be able to try things that you wouldn't necessarily have purchased. But if they're not giving you the same product that would have been if you had purchased it from the website, that's not what you're buying the subscription box for. That's not what it's for. That's not the point. So what these subscription boxes need to do, in my opinion, is put a clause in their contract that says you must give us the same product that you are selling on your website and other retailers. You cannot change the formula in order to put it in our box. But that, my friends, is going to bring down the variety that can be provided in these subscription boxes substantially. Because you're not going to get an American-made Storybook Cosmetics product in a subscription box. It's too expensive from what the evidence has been that has been presented. You're not going to be able to get a 111 Skin from Bulgaria at the cost that these subscription boxes need in order to fulfill the need and the demand by consumers. Okay? Let me go ahead and flip over to the chat and see what people are seeing. Okay? Somebody's saying Chrissy bingo. So let's see what Chrissy said. Where is Chrissy? There we go. So it's false advertising. Well, that's a good question, Chrissy. I don't believe it's false advertising. And this is, well, it depends. Okay. Storybook Cosmetics specifically said that they are making these palettes specifically for BoxyCharm. Just like Norvina, her Norvina line said this is a different line. It's not ABH. It's an offshoot Norvina line. Norvina didn't tell anybody that these were going to be a different formula and made in China. Storybook Cosmetics didn't tell anybody that this was going to be a different formula. I don't know what the formula is like in regular Storybook Cosmetics stuff. I don't own any. This is the only Storybook Cosmetics thing I own. They didn't. Wait, my son's like yelling upstairs. So I got distracted for a second. They don't legally have to say that they are changing anything. Okay. Then when we get to Ciate and Kypris, they're changing the ingredient list on their website. So will they continue to produce that formula, or will they go back to the old formula and when it's not in a subscription box? We'll just have to wait and see. So is it false advertising? I wouldn't go so far as to say false advertising, because they never advertised. Well, in this case, they didn't advertise that it was the same product. This is a new product. In the case of Kypris and Ciate, kind of. Or it could just be listed as a formula change. You just kind of have to decide that for yourself, how shady you feel like that is. I don't know. Yeah, Leticia says, what I'm getting out of this is save your money, buy the original item of whatever you're interested in, stop buying subscription boxes. Good thing I canceled my subscription boxes last month. Another thing we need to keep in mind is that this does not seem to be the majority of products in subscription boxes. This is a select number of products in subscription boxes. And I put up a quote on Twitter the other day, and I wish I remembered exactly what it was. It was a guy who was born in like 1810, some guy. And he was saying, all we notice are the things that are out of the norm. We don't talk about things that are normal. There could be 700 products that are exactly the same as what you would buy from the retailer. And there could be 3 that are different. And people will focus on the 3, not the 700. So you just kind of have to decide for yourself whether it's worth investing your money in. Whether the chance that you could get something that's slightly different than what you would have purchased from their website. I don't know. I mean, that's up to the individual consumer. What my job, I feel like here is to give you the best information possible. And unfortunately, we do need to move on from this. I do want to play one more clip from Alex, and then I want to talk about ABH real quick because we only have 15 minutes left.
So I'm just letting you guys know right now, 100%, these products, not all of them, but quite a few of these products are duplicated products. And you'll be able to tell which ones they are because, for instance, like the Storybook Cosmetics palette says right here, made in PRC, and their normal products are made in the United States.
This is false. She cannot say that 100%. That's not okay to me. That is not okay. She has gotten information. She's put a lot of good things together, but she's gotten information from a competing box regarding all of this. And just because something's made in the PRC does not mean that it is a cheap dupe. Okay? And that leads me into what I'm wearing on my face today. Glam Light Cosmetics. Cake palette on my eyes today. Okay. This shade right here is insane. The shade Guava. Oh my gosh, I'm hoping it'll pick up on camera. That's what I'm wearing all over my lid today. It's so pretty. Look at that. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm also wearing pineapple and dulce de leche and a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of cinnamon in my inner corner. And I'm really having fun with this. Guess where this palette's made? It's made in the PRC. This is not a cheap dupe. This is where they get all their palettes made. The difference is that Storybook previously had products made in the United States. That doesn't mean they're better. This, before all this blew up, this was in my favorites and fails countdown, way high up, I believe, last month, because it's a really good palette. It's a really good palette. So if BoxyCharm receives this palette, I have a question for you. If BoxyCharm receives this palette, made in the PRC, they try it, they love it. I loved it. Genuinely. It's a good palette. Should they not put it in their box because it's made in the PRC? Because it's different than what they typically put out? Should they deny this product? Remember, this isn't for sale anywhere differently made in the United States. This palette was always, from the very beginning, made in China. Should they deny it? That's my big question for you. I mean, I feel like there needs to be, I feel like they should have still done this, because it clearly says that it was specifically made for BoxyCharm, and it's a good quality palette. Where it gets a little fuzzy for me is the Ciate situation, the Kypris situation. The Farsali thing was just fake anyway. It was just, that was stupid. But the Kypris and the Ciate, I feel like there needs to be some kind of clause in subscription boxes that says you can't do that, or else we won't accept your product if it's not the same formula as what you typically sell. That's my opinion. And we'll see whether things change. I mean, this is all relatively new. I mean, we hadn't heard anything about this in any of these kinds of things, at least for me. I haven't heard of it. Maybe you have, until the end of 2019. So maybe they're going to realize, subscription boxes, that customers are smarter than that, and they'll stop this practice from happening. We'll see what happens. Adelita says, it's kind of upsetting how Jen isn't addressing comments like she usually does. I'm addressing as many as I can. It is 10:46. I've spent 45 minutes talking about this. I can't, there are 2,269 people here. I can't address comments like that when there's 2,271 people. I'm doing the best I can, man.
Can you tell people if the Glamlight palette is PR or not?
Oh, Glamlight palette is not PR. I purchased this. This is purchased.
And the Storybook one, just to be clear?
Storybook one came in BoxyCharm. I do get BoxyCharm in PR. Yes, thank you, husband. I appreciate that. My husband's coming down to help.
Somebody asked, and I thought it was important.
It is important. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Okay. Sorry if I'm ignorant, but is your palette PR? Did you pay for it? Okay. Yeah. That was it. Okay. Yes. This one I bought at full price, I believe. I don't think I had a coupon code or anything. This I bought. Okay. All right. Let's go into ABH because we only got 13 minutes left. All right. So let's talk about what happened. So basically what happened is that Rodan and Fields and ABH had a deal. And they are selling Rodan and Fields is a multi-level marketing company. If you want to know more about multi-level marketing companies and why people don't like them, like we talked about in the news today, you can go over to John Oliver's video. The big reason why people don't like multi-level marketing companies is that they give you this promise of owning your own business, working from home, earning all this money. It really, they build it up. People invest all this money in it. A lot of times, stay-at-home moms, people that are more vulnerable to investing their money in things that are not necessarily going to pay off in the end, and then they end up losing their money. It's seen by a lot of people as predatory MLMs. I did find a website that is, if you've never seen the Beauty Brain, this says beautybrainsblush.com. This is something different. I thought this was a different website, but this is Beauty Brains Blush. They said that Rodan and Fields, and I'll link this in the description box later. I forgot to do it before we started. But their stat says, let me find it. Sorry, guys. Where is it? Sorry. Basically they were, okay, here, yeah. Hold on. Okay, here it is. I found it. This person says, and they have the link to Rodan and Fields 2018. It says, on average, only 1.3% of Rodan and Fields distributors make above minimum wage. 89% of Rodan and Fields distributors make on average only $2,342 per year. In the bottom tier, 61.3% of all distributors make on average the tiny amount of $325. You can make more than that by hosting a one-day yard sale, she says. So MLMs, for the most part, unless you are, a top tier person and you've made it, and I think that's wonderful, great. Most people don't do well with them. So ABH collabs with Rodan and Fields on this and sells their ABH brow kit, which is all existing products, to the Rodan and Fields consumers. And the problem with that is that people may sign up for Rodan and Fields in order to get this deal from ABH and then end up losing money in the end. So that's why people had an issue with it. So, all right. This is the kit. That's what it looks like. What's killer about this is that ABH made this deal, and then all of a sudden there's all this backlash when people find out about it. And then Norvina tweets out, "What's an MLM?" Let's just give Norvina the benefit of the doubt. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say she didn't know what an MLM was. Guaranteed somebody in the higher ups knew what an MLM was and knew exactly what they were doing. I don't understand why they made this deal. It makes no sense to me. ABH seems to be doing pretty well financially. They don't need the Rodan and Fields customers to push them over their sales goals. It seems like they're doing fine. I don't understand why they made this deal in the first place. But this got me thinking about our thoughts on brands in general and the faces of brands and things like that. So I tweeted this out yesterday, and I want to read you what I tweeted because it kind of made me go on this train of thinking, and I was like, what are we doing as consumers? If you're not following me on Twitter, you need to follow me on Twitter. Okay. So I recently put out a video on marketing tricks for brands. And I said to reiterate on the tweet, but it's more like to add on to what I mentioned in my latest marketing tricks video. Brands do not have specific morals. They are not people. They are run by and employ many people with different opinions and moral compasses. We cannot expect brands, which are not people, to have feelings. When brands make a moral choice, it's because one person or a group of people decided is the best choice for the brand. Maybe those people believe in one thing, but that doesn't mean that every person working there or owning the company believe that. That's why it's completely flawed that we hold brands to the standard of having morals. Brands are there to make money. The people who work there are the ones with morals, not the brand themselves, because the brands are not people. They can't have morals. They can't have feelings. They're not human. The people who work there are the humans. The people who work there are the ones with morals, not the brands. And just because the people making the decisions have a certain value doesn't mean that everyone working there has that value. Brands have tricked us into believing that they are just like us, that they are human. In fact, they are not human. They are run by humans who may or may not work there for long periods of time. And what if they leave? What happens if ABH gets sold, right? What happens to the brand morals then if the people who are running the moral department, the PR department, don't work there anymore and are replaced by other people? The brand still exists, but the people behind the morals are different. They get picked up by the next person in charge of the "let's pretend we're human in order to sell you stuff you don't need" campaign. Okay? So this is when I got to thinking. I was like, okay, so Norvina has basically said, remember, we're giving her the benefit of the doubt here. Norvina said she didn't know what an MLM was. She's the face of ABH. She's the public face of ABH. But there are people that make decisions that may make the same as her, may make more than her, may make a little less than her. They're still working there that thought this was a good idea and are still profiting from ABH. They're still working there most likely. Most likely, we don't know. Maybe they got fired, who knows. But whoever made that moral decision is still most likely going to be profiting from ABH sales, even though they're not the face of the brand. So if you're anti-MLM and you don't want to support people who believe that collabing with MLMs is okay, then it would make sense you wouldn't purchase from ABH anymore, right? Even though Norvina, the face of the brand, says that she didn't know what an MLM was. And this got me thinking a little further, and I started thinking about Kat Von D. Now, let's pretend MLM is the same level of bad as the things Kat Von D was accused of, which was alleged anti-Semitism and believing that you shouldn't vaccinate children. That made a lot of people boycott the brand. Okay, let's pretend this is on the same level. So Kat Von D is the face of the brand. Canceled hard to the point where she is now sold, in my opinion, this is why it happened. She's now sold her shares of Kat Von D Beauty to the parent company. Let's say Kat Von D was the only person in that entire company, all the people that work there that believed those things. And they were canceled. But because Kat Von D is the face of the brand, that brand gets canceled. But if Norvina, the face of the brand, says that she didn't know and that's not her beliefs, we don't cancel them. So does it matter if the face of the brand believes something, if other people being paid by the company believe something different? That's the problem with attributing morals to a brand. We can't do that. We can't do it. We can't do it. So I don't know. I just feel like, the way that we choose to boycott, you have to choose what's best for you. But thinking that a brand has morals is flawed. It's the people who are behind the brand that have the morals. And then we have to decide, okay, this is another thing I was thinking. I know I'm not reading a lot of comments. I'm sorry. Okay. There's concrete morals and then there's abstract morals. There's concrete morals that we can measure and see and know that they exist, right? So when a brand goes eco-friendly, okay, they use eco-friendly packaging, they try to use less water in their production, all these things. We can see a physical impact in that choice. So that's pretty concrete, right? Another thing is cruelty-free. If they're not sending their products to China to be tested on animals before they are able to be sold in Chinese stores, which happens a lot, then the demand for animal testing goes down and potentially animals are saved. That is a concrete choice that the brand is making based on moral values, right? But what about like LGBTQ support? That is a more abstract concept, right? So they can do, brands can do these LGBTQ rainbow palettes in support of whatever, but there is no concrete result from that. It's just a level of moral support kind of thing. So when we're making our purchases, keeping in mind, just because you're selling a rainbow palette it could be just a thing for show. It could be I want to pretend like I'm human so that you'll buy my rainbow palette, and really more of just a marketing trick. It could be. It could be that the people that are working behind there really truly believe in LGBTQ rights, right? But it could just be a marketing thing because there's no concrete thing. Sometimes they'll be like, okay, we're donating $1 of every purchase of this palette to the Trevor Project. And then they make how many dollars on top of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be better for you to donate your $1 or your cost of the palette to the Trevor Project yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's just, we just need to be aware. That's all I'm saying. And make the decision on your own whether you want to boycott a brand, and not based on just what the face of the brand says, but what you believe is the right thing to do. And just because one person in the brand believes a certain thing doesn't mean that everybody else that works there. And the bigger the company, the more people that work there, and the more likely there is going to be somebody that works for that company that has values that differ from you. And the big flaw in companies pretending to be people is people are flawed. And when you take a stance on something, there's always going to be somebody that believes the opposite of what you believe. So it's a very sticky line to walk, It's very tricky. All right, let's see what the community is saying. Brenda says, I really appreciate you addressing so many of the controversial subjects in the beauty community. It sure helps clear up much information. I'm very glad to do it. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for that, Brenda. Matta says, what's your opinion of MLMs? In the past, I remember you mentioned an Avon product. Okay, so I believe that when we're talking about companies, we need to talk about them individually. So I believe on the whole, most MLMs are predatory. I have a special place in my heart for Avon, specifically because my mom sold Avon my entire childhood, and Avon was how I ate. So I know my mom did well with Avon, and I know that our income was dependent on my father's income and my mom's income from Avon. And I know how much it helped my family. I know we got our first microwave from Avon. I remember a bear that I had, I forget what his name was. My mom would know what his name was. I'd got this big bear that I loved that my mom got from Avon, and I felt like they helped me as a child to have a happier childhood. So I don't ever believe you should generalize a category and say that everybody in that category is exactly the same. I think the concept of MLMs on the whole can be extremely predatory, but I do think that each MLM needs to be looked at individually. And based on the statistics that were provided, from the link from Rodan and Fields, that one seems like one that is more predatory. So that's kind of the way that I feel about it. Let's see. Rain says my mom sold Avon too. Julie says, I agree with you, Jen, but if you put the moral stance in the name of your company, Kat Von D Vegan Beauty, I consider the brand as endorsing a moral stance of being vegan. That's true. That's very true. And it's up to the individual consumer to decide whether that's important or not. And vegan would be a concrete moral in that when you're using vegan ingredients, then you're potentially, I guess, not harming animals in the process, even though some vegan ingredients you're not harming animals, but like things like carmine where you're killing bugs, if bee ingredients are not harvested properly and they're harming the bee population, you could be doing good for the world by buying vegan products. So that's something that's more concrete, right? I'm going to stay on an extra couple minutes because I know I haven't talked to the chat very much. And please know, if I'm not reading your comment, it's not personal. There's 2,296 people here. Like, please don't take it personal. I had somebody make an entire video about how they were mad at me because I hadn't responded to them in chat or on my comment section. And I'm like, it was like a 40-minute video. I was like, oh my gosh. It's never intentional, I promise. Okay. Hello in Trinidad. Scarlett's brain is on fire, kind of like I'll never buy from Hobby Lobby or eat at Chick-fil-A because yes, but then you got to think about, okay, so this is what the individual needs to decide. The owners of Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A have decided that they take a specific moral stance. But if you think about all of the employees that work there, all of the people that work behind the scenes, maybe even some of the people higher up in the company may not have the same opinions as the people that are the main forefront, public figures of the companies. So does it matter that it's the owners that have this stance? Or would you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to decide that for yourself. And I'm not telling anybody what they should do. Okay, the practical beautician says it was correct information. She may have used the word dupe wrong, but she did in fact expose the situation. Going back to Alex, I think that she brought together a lot of facts, which I think were great, but she also told a lot of information that was absolutely 100% incorrect. So I feel like she was very brave to tackle this topic. I question her source, and I feel like I'm glad that she did make the video, and because it's making people aware, and maybe it will improve subscription boxes in the future. But she did say some things that were absolutely 100% incorrect. So, Okay, Hapless Beauty. Hi, Andy. Andy says, Jen, how is it that pyramid schemes are illegal but MLMs aren't when they're essentially running on the same business model? I promise I won't make a video if you don't get this answer this. So pyramid schemes specifically are, they're less complicated from what I understand. I could be wrong on this, but this is my general understanding. I haven't done a ton of research into it, but pyramid schemes, I believe, are more cut and dry, meaning that I have $10 and I'm going to give it to Andy, and then I'm going to get, and then Andy's going to get $8, and then the person above Andy's going to get $2, whatever, and it's going to go up the pyramid. So, and then I get people to sign up underneath me, and they all put in $10, and then I get $5 of that, and Andy gets $3, and you know what I mean? Like, it just goes up. Like, it's more cut and dry, like crap. Where MLMs, I guess the difference is that there is a potential to actually make money. But I personally feel like the current MLM model should be illegal. The way that most brands seem to do it, I feel like it should be illegal. As far as having people sign up under you and then earning commissions based on the people that sign up under you and all of that. But I mean, again, I don't have a ton of knowledge on that. So, I'm sure there's research places that know more than I do. Susan says, it's very possible Norvina didn't know what an MLM is. I myself had no idea what it was. I'm 56 years old until I saw a video on MLM a few months ago. Exactly. And I don't think that it's fair to assume that she didn't know. I feel like it's one of those things she probably should have known, but we really don't know. We really don't know when it comes down to it. We don't know whether she knew or not. Yes, here we go. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Pyramid schemes don't sell products. They work solely on recruitment. That's how MLMs get away with it. They have a higher percentage of actual sale than a pyramid scheme. Thank you so much. That was kind of what I was saying. Mary LuLaRoe was an MLM. Okay, we are 5 minutes over time, so I should pop off here, but I want to thank you so much for being in this chat. And again, I wish Alex nothing but the best. I don't want it to seem like I was coming after her. I really just wanted to give my 2 cents on her video and tell you what I thought of the things she said. I do think she got some things right, and I do think she got some things wrong, and I just wanted to comment on it. I don't want you to send Alex any hate. Please do not go over there and say anything negative to her or mean to her. Please just be kind. I do believe that Alex, this is what I want to believe. I believe Alex had good intentions of putting that video out to warn consumers. I think that she wanted to do good. I just think she missed the mark on a couple of things, and I've missed the mark on some of the things that I've put out there. I'm not perfect, so I'm not trying to crucify her. I'm not trying to say that she's a bad person in any way. I just want to make sure I'm clear about that I don't think that she's a bad person. So, yeah. But thank you again for being here. Mad love to you. And remember, this is live. I can't go back and edit anything, so grain of salt for me, okay? And I will see you in live chat next week. It will be the same time next week at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And yeah, have a great week. We'll see you next week. Mad love. Bye.